Well, hello and welcome to Clay Pigeon Raceway, and more importantly, welcome to NKC 2024, the Top Kart Championship. And to tell you why NKC is so important, it's the face of Karting Live TV. It's Joe Bradley.
Hello, Nick. We've waited a long time, haven't we? At last it's here. We ended 2023 here at Clay Pigeon. It seems right to kick off 2024 right here at Clay Pigeon. Little bit difference in the season this in 2024. We have two championships culminating in one big overall championship. So the first 3 rounds is for our Southern Cup, and then the final 3 rounds of the 2024 season, that's going to be for the Northern Cup. And the first 3 rounds are in the south, and the last 3 rounds are in the north.
Well, if Wilton Mill counts as the north, but and we also have an O-plate in Rowra, which would be great fun. But, of course, the key point is to find out, what does the paddock think? What do the organisers think? What's going on? There's only one person who can find out the measure, the meter, the temperature in those awnings. Why, it's Joe Bradley. Joe, go and talk to everyone else.
All right, then. So at the first round of any series, especially the Junction 6 NKC, we kind of, at this point of any season, we reflect back to last season. We've got a lot of hope and aspirations towards the 2024 season. But first, George Cade, number 79 in Junior Rotax. George, it was the last round here in last year's NKC, and we've got some beautiful footage of what happened to you in the B final, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So just for the viewers, remind us what exactly happened.
So I was running in second place of the B final. It was all going amazing until my wheel, for some strange reason.
What are you looking at your dad for?
Yeah. Dad, would you like to explain what happened?
Sorry, what's Dad's name firstly?
I'm Neil.
Hello, Neil.
Hello. Simple error, mechanical error. I was changing lots on his setup and so focused on that, I just left off the basic of checking his wheel nuts before he went out, and off he went. And as soon as his wheel come off, I knew what I'd done wrong, and I did apologise, didn't I, George?
Yeah.
So, George, in motorsport, you have to have the utmost faith and trust in your mechanics. So how are you feeling going into 2024 then after that?
Well, Dad is currently invested in a T-bar, so it doesn't happen again,
Right.
which is quite nice, and hopefully it won't happen again. So now I feel really confident and really ready for this year.
So, all joking aside, George, yes, you can look back at last year with a bit of light heart, and yes, we can make sure it never happens again. So, you've got to put that away, haven't you? And you're looking forward to 2024. Here we are back at Clay Pigeon. So what are you looking forward to the most in 2024?
I reckon we can do a lot better this year. We've now had a year in juniors and a national karting year under our belt.
Yeah.
So we can come into the year knowing what to expect, a lot more confident, and get some better results. After having quite a lot of bad luck as well last year, hopefully we can get a bit more luckier and then get some really good results and have a great championship year here at NKC.
Looking at the calendar, do you know all the tracks that are on the calendar? For instance, we've got Forest Edge on the calendar. Here in the south, it's just sort of east from here, isn't it?
Yeah. So
Do you know Forest Edge?
No, we're not from down south. So Forest Edge is the only track that we're going to go to this year that we won't have been to. So Forest might be a bit harder not having setup and the knowledge, but we'll soon get used to it and soon get the setup ready and be on the pace before you know it.
Yeah, so you're with Nathan Schaefer's team. You've got a massive team behind you. Do you think that helps at all, having all of that sort of support behind you, in case you need a quick engine change, for instance, or something?
Well, there's no other juniors, so that's a bit of a struggle because we lost our amazing teammate Freddie Moore from last year. They're all in seniors. They're also mostly on a different chassis. They're all on CRGs, so there's a difference there. But they're very helpful for if we need help. They do amazing food, and they got a jig, welding. They do everything we need them to do and help us so much.
You mentioned food. Now, an army fights its battles on its stomach, doesn't it? We've just had lunch called. Paul, follow me and George. We're going to have a walk round and see what sort of catering we have with NCR. There was mention of a pizza oven, George. Is that right? Are we going to see pizza on the menu maybe at tea time?
We had pizza yesterday, so pizza probably won't be again.
Look at this, though. Look at this. Yeah. So hot dogs. We've got hot dogs, Paul. Hot dog with fried onions. And this is the infamous NCR pizza oven then, George?
I'm assuming so. I'm not sure. I don't really do much cooking myself, but it does probably look like it would do pizzas.
It was used last night. We had pizza and chips last night. So.
Thank you.
Pizza and chips. Right then, George, it's been wonderful talking to you. And hopefully you'll have a great weekend, if not a great season. Neil, I know what you're going to be doing last thing at Park Fermé with his little tea bar. There she is. Just get her there, Paul, will you? That's our caterer. We're going to hang about here and hopefully get a hot dog. So this fella here, Jensen Watts, turned up 3 times last year and basically stole all the trophies. Now, Jensen, you're in for the season this time, so not just a one-off cherry pick of what trophies you're going to win, you're going for a championship, surely. Both the Southern and the Northern, I would expect.
Yeah, that's the plan. We're only going for a win. That's what we're here to do. I'm glad this year we got 1 set of tyres for 3 rounds. People said last year we're trophy hunting, but this year we'll prove them wrong.
Yeah, you're going to prove them wrong by being there at all 6 then.
That's the plan, yeah.
And the O plate.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We should be there. I look
So,
forward.
so who are you with? I see Burrell on the jacket there. You're with RP Burrell, yeah?
Yeah, so this year we've joined Racing Perfection Build team. This week we've got 3 drivers, but I'm sure going into championship we'll build a few more as we get going.
So this is an advert then. So
Yeah.
RP have got spaces in the awning
We have, yeah.
for the NKC. Do you do anything else?
All the local club rounds, and
Right.
we're at the British as well.
So are you at your home track?
I'd say Mansell's my home track.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
So the south of England.
South of England.
You're pretty familiar with Clare.
I am fairly familiar. Grew up here. Well, I say grew up. Did my ARCS test and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of novice plates. I did a lot of racing in the Midlands, sort of in junior times. But yeah, I've always stayed sort of close to home. Come around here a couple times a year.
Short lap, in fact, the shortest lap, I think, in the UK, Clare Pigeon,
Yeah.
certainly in the NKC. So what's the key? What's the key to getting a good run and a good lap time here?
I said it last time. You got to brake later than everyone else.
You make that sound easy. Also, I think you've got to have the kind of support team behind you. Paul, if you just have a look behind Jensen here. So we've got a number of engines here, and Jensen, to be really serious about this business, it's not just about, you know, if you want to win a championship, you've got to have this kind of support these days, it seems.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. Obviously, this year we've got the new barrels come out for Rotax, so everyone's fighting for territory, I suppose. Yeah, we're here testing some engines and hope to find some power.
So do you find that a certain motor will work here at Clare? You're looking for your optimised run with your optimised kit. Do you find that that engine might not work so well, say, at Three Sisters?
Yeah, you know, some tracks, I'll give you Mansell for example, it's all about bottom end. It's a lot of slow corners, drive off the corner. Here, you've only got one real slow corner down at the hairpin. The rest of it's sort of mid-power. We haven't got any long straights. So you're looking for that mid to top range. That's what you're looking for here.
And is that the process that you're working to today? Is that the jobs list of trying to hone that setup, including the engine performance and the engine characteristic?
Yeah, you can sometimes find that you can get a lap time out of a certain setup, but in a race, can you overtake with that setup? No. You need the power in the right places to send those moves. So it's, do you sacrifice half a tenth for a good raceable race car?
Yeah, it all sounds far too complicated, mate. I wish you all the very best. I'm going to stay behind the microphone. It's much easier. And I wish you all the very best. Have a great weekend, if not a great season. Thanks, guys. So the 2023 season, the Mini-Max class was perhaps one of the most intense classes. This fella here, Sonny Morgan, battled it all the way through. At the end of the day, Sonny, you just missed out on the championship, but you still came away as vice-champion in Mini-Max. So that's something to be proud of last year, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. The competition was close. Even though there wasn't really much of a big grid, people don't say it was as hard, but it was really struggled. Me and Corkin, we were bumper to bumper the entire way through the season, so it wasn't easy.
Yeah, no. It only takes 2 carts, and you boys really did it. So Sebastian isn't here this year. He's racing elsewhere. And because you have continued to grow, you have moved up from Mini-Max and you're now in the junior Rotax ranks.
Yeah.
You're also running with Haworth Racing. Tell us, we understand why you're now in juniors. What brought you to Phil's team?
Well, we had a test day with Phil, well, a test weekend more like, and he really brought us on with driving in the wet conditions, and he helped us out so much with setups of the kart. There was so much we didn't know, and he's so knowledgeable over the kart and really knows what he's doing. Him and his dad and the team, it's a really good team to be in, and they helped us so much with the juniors, because we wouldn't be on pace in juniors if it weren't for Phil.
Phil's been racing since he was younger than you. You've got all of that experience, and that's what you're gleaning from being a part of this outfit, yeah?
Yeah.
let's bring Phil in. Phil, I want to ask you. He's saying really nice things about you, which is very rare, I've got to say, in this paddock to hear nice things about Phil Howarth. So you've got Sonny here. You've got, I think, an expanded team, Phil, this season. You said you were winding down.
I know.
You were winding down, but here you are. You've kind of come out the stocks.
Well, I've seen Sonny over the winter period, and he's been pretty quick. So he was one that I wanted in the team because I've only had one junior. Now we've got 3.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm hoping to put it at the front with him this weekend. We're fast enough. So.
Well, Phil, Sonny's just been really saying some nice things about how you've brought him on.
Yeah.
He mentioned, you tutoring him and how to get the best in the wet. Is that something you enjoy, passing on the Sorcerer's Apprentice, passing on the magic down?
I like the end result. Getting there is a bit tedious at times, but when I ran Sonny down in the I think it was Dunkerswell in the wet.
Dunkswell.
Yeah, we done a day at Dunkswell and Clays. It's a double weekend, so yeah.
And he done everything I told him to do, and we actually put it pole for the final. We drove it fantastically, so hopefully we can do it again here.
Do you find it easier to drive the thing than actually watch one of your drivers out there, especially a kid?
He's quite unlucky really, because when I'm watching him, I know when it's the kart or when it's him. And when he's going to get told off, or when there's a kart issue, so he can't hide anywhere. He can't hide on the circuit.
Looking forward to continuing those battles, Phil. That you've entertained us for a couple of seasons now on Karting Live TV. I mean, it's been great.
I think it's going to be exactly the same this year. It's definitely not going to change at all. We'll see how it goes, but it's definitely going to be hard racing. There's going to be no prisoners for me this year. Definitely not.
Never is. Sonny, wish you all the best in the junior class. Everybody, Phil has promised me he's got a volume control for the brightness on these shoulders. You'll not be able to miss him out there on the track, and we look forward to watching you two boys battle it out in your respective classes, Sonny Morgan and Phil Howarth. Thanks, guys. The NKC for 2024 welcomes Coles Racing, one of the most renowned and reputable teams in UK karting. I've got the two men who are apparently in charge. Could you just introduce yourselves, guys?
Yeah, my name's Connor Hall. I'm team manager at Coles Racing.
Right, and
I'm Ashley Whiteman, so yeah, second team manager at Coles Racing.
Number 2.
It's a two-man job. I know, I've been there. So I'm going to ask, who shall I ask first? Because the question is, what has brought Coles Racing to the NKC? Shall I ask you?
Yeah, of course. Well, we really like it here, really, because the size of the grids is quite attracting to us. Right. I think when you go around and do some club racing, you're sort of looking at like between 20 to 30 drivers, but here it's super challenging just purely because of the size of the grids. Right. So it really brings out the better in the drivers because of the size of the grids, and in the mixed heats as well. I think it highlights the driver's racing ability as well. Right. So that's what attracts us to this, really.
Because that's the positive thing we take out of mixed grids. It as much as it can be a bit of a fest, it also teaches you how to race. So was it the team that drew your customers to the series, or was it customer pressure that brought Coles to the series? Which one? Who's going to answer that?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of both. Our customers were interested in doing so. I think we looked back at the last year's results from the NKC series, and some of the drivers that were at the front end are very, very good drivers. So, we wanted to race against ultimately, some of the best drivers in the country. And this looked like the sort of series that was probably affordable that would allow us to do so.
Yeah. Do you guys see this as a kind of a proving ground, an apprenticeship? All right, it's a national series. We race all over the country, but are you going to be bringing drivers through this series who are aiming at, say, UKC and with Vera Tools British?
Absolutely. I mean, the British is the renowned championship, but this is definitely, I wouldn't say a feeder series. It's up there. It's a different market. It's good. It's good track time. It's our first year doing it, but day 2 we've had good track time so far. Like I said, the grids are really promising in all classes. And there's been some names that, the reason I say it's not a feeder is because there's some names that I've known from 10 years ago that are still here, having a good time. They've done all the British, they've done all of that, and yet they're still here racing. So, all them years later. So it's obviously a series that's attractive to people. It's cost effective with the tyres and yeah, the track time's been really good so far.
I was going to ask that question actually. So usually in karting, even at club level, we're throwing tyres at these things all the time, aren't we? So what sort of challenge is that, getting that one set of tyres to last 3 race weekends?
I just want to firstly say, you know, it's great for the sport and for the cost effect management for the competitors. So the fact that we only got one for three rounds is challenging for us because we're used to throwing tyres at it all the time, but it's also really good because when it comes to them second and third rounds, we're not throwing tyres at testing because we don't need to test for new tyres. You know, so it doesn't just save on the race tyre, it saves with people trying to go for new for testing as well. Right. So, you know, we're not just saving one set for 2 rounds, we're saving 3 or 4 or 5 maybe sets of tyre. So that's where it's really beneficial.
Also, I noticed behind us here the data analysis that goes on at this level of the sport, exactly the same at wherever the top level, whatever level it is, it's always, we pour over data. What sort of, you might not be able to answer this because it's only round 1, but what sort of challenges can you foresee with regards to the technicalities of kart setup with those 1 tyres by round 3?
I think that is probably a question we'll probably be better off answering at round 3. I think we'll let you know. As a team, it's not actually something we do too often. If you were to say to us like a 3-day-old set of tyres, we'd almost be throwing them in the bin.
You would undoubtedly be throwing them in the bin. They'd have been in the bin 2 weekends ago.
So I think we'll take it as it comes. But I do think there will be challenges for us, definitely at round 3 on kart setup. And it's something that we'll obviously compare against drivers setup-wise. The setup will 100% be different from a day-old set of tyres compared to a 3-day-old set of tyres. Right. So, it is something that we will assess at the round sort of thing and see what we need to adjust to sort of compensate for the older tyre.
I think the Championships picked a good set of tyres for degradation, as in, we're not running the same tyres they do at the British. If that would be a very big struggle 3 days in. But, so hopefully that benefits us. Again, we'll see.
Yeah, great. So you guys in for the full 6 rounds and the all plate, of course?
Yeah, we'll be there.
A lot of happy, smiling customers behind. Paul, just to get them on there.
Yeah,
they're all trying to make them laugh. Well, over the course of the season, I will be getting a chat with them. So, guys, thank you very much for your insight. Welcome to the NKC. It's great to have the likes of Coles here, and it only just enhances the credibility and the kudos that we have for this national series. Brilliant. Thank you. So which class in the NKC is the most intensive? Which class has the best competition? It's like choosing your favourite child. You can't, because every single class is absolutely up there when it comes to drama and intensity, and none more so than the TKM class. Mitchell Balt, Mitch, you carried off the championship last year, but it was like literally down to the last few minutes of the season, wasn't it? Tell us a little bit about how that went and what happened afterwards. How much of a celebration was it?
Yeah, going into the last race, Charlie and I were the main sort of championship protagonists, were level on points, perfectly level. So it was whoever won or whoever finished ahead of the other was the one who would be champion, and it just so happened I had the right kart and the right driving skills at that time to be able to sort of get away from it. And there was some celebration, to be honest. So only stopped sort of last weekend when I had to do a bit of a preparation round to get ready for this,
I mean, it's so hard fought. I mean, TKM especially. I don't know whether it's something about the karts, maybe the narrower track. You guys can go around each other and overtake and go 3 wide in places that perhaps the wider Rotax classes can't. And that just adds, certainly from our point of view, that adds to the entertainment. What's it like from the driver's seat?
I think the main reason that TKM is as it is that they're underpowered, essentially. They're quite low power engines, so it's all about momentum, smoothness, keeping the kart, perfect at all times. Rotax, you sort of, part of the driving style is sliding, whereas in TKM, it's all about keeping momentum, and that leads to, you get better and better at overtaking and keeping momentum and getting around people and stuff like that,
Is there anything different on the kart this year? I know the regulations kind of stifle development in that front. So is it basically exactly what you were running with the last couple of seasons?
Yeah, 1 kilo extra lead, to be honest. The weight limit's gone up.
That's good. Oh, right. It's not like you've lost it.
No. I've got 1 kilo extra on the seat just to make that. Other than that, I think we kart itself exactly the same.
Is that going to make a massive difference at all?
No, right. Everyone's in the same boat. It doesn't matter. It makes no difference to any of us, really.
It seems an obvious question, and I think at round 1, possibly a question is impossible to answer. But, you know, what are you looking forward to the most? I mean, all right, we know it's going to be winning another championship, but that's just so hard, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, there's some good competition this year, especially Jamie, Charlie's a vice British champion in the other series, and he's vice champion here. Jamie's come from a sort of X30 background. He's got a lot of experience. I'm excited for some new circuits, Forest Edge. Yeah. I've never been to Warden Law either, although it is a bit of a journey.
Yeah. And for me, I live 2 miles from
there you go. Yeah, it's easy for you. Excited to get to those circuits. Yeah, try and learn them as best I possibly can, and like you say, hopefully retain the championship. Drive around the best.
Yeah, drive around quicker than anyone else. I wish you all the very best. I also want to thank you from everybody on Karting Live TV and NKC. To thank you very much from Junction 6. Junction 6 is your company. You are the series sponsor once again for the second year. You know, what do you get from that exactly? I mean, you know, not necessarily commercially, but supporting the championship, I suppose, is the objective.
Yeah, you know, I've been racing with the NKC for I think since the second year that it was running. Mm-hmm. And essentially we just really like what Chris and Ollie and all the guys are doing with the series. And so I think we had 1 year where we weren't the sponsor, and since then we decided we'd just keep sponsoring it because we like the way it's going. We think it's the right thing for karting, especially grassroots or TKM and Rotax stuff. Yeah. It's the right way to keep the classes going, lower costs, better organisation, and we just love what they're doing. So
great stuff. Thanks, Mitch. Best of luck for this season.
Thank you very much.
Best of luck for the weekend. Thank you. Mitchell Ball, our current champion.
Well, we want to find out about a championship. You come to the source of the information, the organiser, the man in equally in charge, Ollie Nitschmidt. Ollie, 2024 NKC bumper grids already, but a couple of changes, less classes, but more people in each class. You must be really chuffed with the entry.
Yeah, another brilliant entry for 2024. We've lost the Minimax class this year, but as a result, we've now got up to sort of 80 registered for juniors. Senior Rotax up into the 70s, and Rotax 177. I think we're one of the only championships now running with the class, and we've had over 80 entries. So it's superb turnout. I'm really pleased to say that we've still got senior TKM, which is it's a class close to our hearts. We've got over 20 entries. Again, it's the biggest in the country, and we're really glad to see that class still progress, and we want to keep it going as long as we can.
And the good thing was he was just heckled by the start of the junior Rotax practice. That was quite good. Now, a few changes to the sort of championship layout this year. Isn't there? We've got a Southern and Northern Cup. Explain the idea behind that.
So this is something we did a few years ago. We had a Southern and Northern Cup. The reasoning behind it is not all. We are budget-focused championship. We're very competitive, but we do focus on the budget. And we try and keep the prices down for our drivers. And part of that, you know, travel is expensive. Hotels are expensive. So we like to offer a sort of sub-championship for those drivers that can't make it all the way up to Warden Law or to Raura, but they just want to focus on. They want to win a championship, but they want to stay on their like the southern area, wherever they're based. So it just gives, and it also gives something another championship for drivers to race for.
Yeah, and you mentioned Warden Law. We've got 2 new tracks this series. Warden Law, that glorious edifice in the northeast, home to the voice and the face of Karting Live TV, Joe Bradley. I have to keep saying that, by the way, it's TM. But also we're going to Forest Edge as well, a track I think is very rarely used by championships. So give us an idea of why you decided to choose those 2 tracks.
Well, I mean, Joe has been pushing Warden Law for a couple of years to us. I think ever since they did a lot of upgrades to the track, we've always wanted to go there. So we're really pleased to be going there for our final round for the championship decider. So that's going to be great. Forest Edge is, historically, it's always been a Motorsport UK track. Harder to get to for championships. They're limited on how many days a year they can run. But 2 of the committee members race with us, and they've been really instrumental in helping us get to the track. And it's a big favourite, loads of space, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to mix the championship. I mean, of course, we have an O plate, and that's at Raura, so we all get to spend 3 days up in the Lake District with Malcolm and the team.
That's it. Yeah, the Raura. Everyone can come and join us at Raura. That's an open round, so you don't have to be a registered member. It's in July. and it's at the beautiful Rowra circuit, which is another track we love. Format is to be decided, but it will be a 3-day event with practice on Friday and 2 days of racing Saturday and Sunday.
And being July, there's a slight chance it won't rain, possibly.
Well, you never know, Nick. We'll have to see, but can't promise that. But we've been there through rain, snow, sleet, and beautiful sunshine. So either way, it's a great place to be.
We previously mentioned, though, that the big entry. What do you put the health of this championship down? Because some of the championships are going okay, some are struggling. This one's just growing every year. Why do you think that is?
We try and do things right. We try and we listen to our customers. We have sensible rules. People don't need to be spending thousands on tyres each month. So we do everything we can just to really look after the drivers in terms of the budget. We choose good circuits, and we do the best as we can with the budget we have as well. And we have a great team behind us.
So you do. Ollie, thank you very much, and good luck for 2024.
Thanks very much. Cheers, guys.